At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, good morning, everyone. Well, there it is. I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. You're watching Coffee with Krueger live every weekday morning at 6:30 in the morning. And that is the funnel cloud that you can see there. Now, the person that sent this to me said that this was not the worst of it. So you can see here as we look at this, we actually don't see any signs or signatures that it may have reached the ground. It looks close. It does look close, but we're kind of seeing it in its dissipating phase as we speak with this. So you can kind of see how it breaks apart and then it just kind of fizzles out. It's kind of interesting taking a look at that. Now there's another one from a different perspective. It looks like the same one actually, but from a different perspective. Let's take a look at this one. This is from Michelle. And there you can see. Now, again, look at the signature. It looks like it's trying to reach the ground. It could very well be on the ground for a very short period of time. The National Weather Service indicating about a minute. But same kind of characteristic that we saw. See, watch it zoom in. Then, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more defined taking a look at this particular image right here. But just like what we just saw, now we're seeing where we started with the other funnel cloud, and see how it's kind of breaking apart. See that by the pole right there? You're seeing it kind of break apart. So we certainly do have confirmation that at the very least it was a funnel cloud. The National Weather Service is indeed calling this a tornado. Now, what categorizes as a tornado? Well, a tornado that has reached the ground, right? Now, some people argue that, yes, it goes from the ground up, but that's just a term, right? That it actually, that there was contact to the ground from the tornado, right? Now, here's another thing that has sparked up a bit of conversation and even criticism. There's no such thing as an EFU. Well, actually there is. Here's the thing that people don't understand. When the tornado is actually occurring, there's no category just yet. Nobody knows if it's an EF0, EF1, up to a 5. Nobody knows that while it's happening and even right after it's happened. You've got to get a crew out there to survey the damage, and from there, they can give it a category. So, what the National Weather Service decided based on the radar, basically saying, hey, there is some rotation, based on some of the videos that they saw, much like what we just saw, right? Based on those videos and the signature coming from the radar, they were able to determine that there was indeed a tornado that did reach the ground. Now, they didn't send a survey team out, but due to the fact that there was no damage reported, there were no injuries, it was in a very rural area, that they decided that they were going to categorize it as an EFU. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means unknown. That is the strength of that tornado is unknown because they don't see there's no damage on the ground. All right, so if new data comes in like, oh, there is a downed tree, there is this, that, or that, right? Then they can go, okay, let's categorize it as an EF0 or an EF1 or whatever, right? So that's how the EF category works. It doesn't go off of just, oh, yep, there it is, so we're going to go. No, you got to go on the site, survey the damage, and from there, you can categorize that tornado. So that's where the EFU comes from. In fact, I was talking to a colleague of mine. He lives in Tornado Alley. He lives where there's tornadoes all the time. And EFU was a term that was coined for the first time in 2016 from a tornado in Kansas. So it is an actual term, but here's the thing. It's not something you're going to see. It's not officially on the category list, EF0 to EF5, right? It's kind of one of those secret menu items, if you will. So the Weather Service pulls that out when they just don't have enough data. When they do know that indeed there was something that did reach the ground, but there's no damage to support it, so they don't know how strong the winds are. They don't know how damaging it was. In fact, there was no damage, right? So again, that's where the EFU comes from. So when people say there's no such thing, there is such a thing, but it's kind of one of those hidden hidden menu items. All right, here's a look at the radar, and things have really quieted down. Here's the thing, folks. Since last Wednesday, for 5 straight days, there was rain and thunderstorms every single day. Now, not everyone saw thunderstorms every day, but you get the idea. Thunderstorms every day. All right, before we get into Krueger's Quick Cast, I want to remind you that you can win free tickets from the Red Bluff Roundup. Ooh, Red Bluff Roundup just cringed. So you can get tickets, free tickets for the Red Bluff Roundup. I've got them right here. 2 free tickets, my friends. All you have to do is this. Email me at mkrueger@weathernorcal.com, or simple, so you don't have to spell my name or anything like that, because I know it can be difficult. Just go to weathernorcal.com, click on contact, fill out the form, and you'll be entered. Got a lot of entries, so be sure to get your entry in. I'll be announcing the winner, that is, this Wednesday, April 15th, right here on Coffee with Krueger. All right, let's get you out the door this morning for your Monday, April 13th. For those of you who just want to know what's going to happen today, here you go. Temperatures right now in the mid to upper 40s in the valley, 20s and 30s for the mountains, and upper 40s for the coast. Out the door this morning, let's get you to it. I don't see any raindrops, do you? That's because it's dry out there. There may be a little drizzle here and there, a little sprinkle here and there, but for the most part, it's dry. That's going to change a little bit for some of us, but overall, much, much drier than it's been over the last 5 days. So we have basically high pressure trying to settle in. We've got another system clipping us on Wednesday. That's going to break another shot for showers by Wednesday. But until then, looks fairly dry. Let's take a look at, this is the HRRR forecast model. We'll take a look at our in-house model here in a bit, but still dry through midday, maybe a chance for a sprinkle here and there. And see that? Just a sprinkle light shower for mainly the mountains and the coast. The valley most likely staying dry, but here's the thing. If we see a straight shower or a sprinkle in the valley throughout the afternoon today, don't be surprised, but certainly nothing to the extent that we did see the last 5 days. Winds today, I'm not concerned about them. If you follow the winds, just note they'll be out of the north at about 5 to 10, maybe 15 miles per hour in some cases for the valley. A little breezy for parts along the coast, but that's really the extent of it. Overall, not concerned about the winds at all, even going into tonight. So let's take a look at the chances for rain. They're there on Wednesday, slimmer on Thursday, and there it is on Sunday. Also a chance for some showers. All right, let's take a look at forecast for today. Temperatures mid-60s for the valley, so not warming up a whole lot. Still pretty cool out there. 50s for most of the higher elevations, and we're talking mid to upper 50s for the coast. Tonight, looks like in the low 40s. Quite cool in the mountains, still in the 20s and 30s there. And looks like along the coast, you're talking about temperatures around 40. All right, so here's your 7-day forecast for the valley. There you go. You've got, of course, that chance for rain on Wednesday. The farther south you go, the slimmer the chances. So I think Redding will see a better chance for rain, at least more rainfall than that of Chico, for example. And then dry for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then more rain possibly by Sunday. There you can see isolated showers, sprinkles for the coast, inland, and for Trinity County. Dry Tuesday, more rain Wednesday. And then dry for the end of the week, and at least for the first half of the weekend. Siskiyou, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains, a sprinkle, a light shower today. Dry Tuesday, more rain Wednesday, and another shot for rain by next Sunday. Oh, wow. That just kind of punches you in the face, doesn't it? In a good way. There's a beautiful shot out looking out at Lake Oroville. Look at that. Just absolutely gorgeous sunrise. That's what you got to love about the clouds during sunrise and sunset. It makes for a beautiful sunrise or sunset, depending on the time of the day. Main Street, Chico. Doesn't look like there's a lot of traffic out there this morning. Let's take you out to Highway 44, Sundial Bridge Drive exit. Can't see much there either. Still looks like the roads are a little wet from the rain that we have seen, but there you can see Crescent City Harbor District. Looks like you've got the overcast skies this morning. Maybe a little bit of drizzle here and there, but that's it. A little bit of low clouds hanging out at Bald Hill West as we typically see, but for the most part, not those low clouds, just the clouds above you. Looks like a little bit of fog out there in the Soda Ridge area, and even some snow from the recent rain and snow that we did see in the mountains. There's a look at Fort Jones and Scott Valley, looking like a beautiful shot there. No low clouds there, just kind of the overcast skies. And hey, remember we were talking about this on Friday, that any of the exposed things that we can see, such as the bench and rocks, will be covered in snow. And yes, that's exactly what happened. If you look to the left of your screen there, that's the bench. It's now covered in snow. and some of the rocks and some of the things are filled out. So yeah, we got to see some good snow for some of the higher elevations. Again, a quick reminder, if you want to win those Red Bluff Roundup tickets, email me at mkrueger@weathernorcal.com or go to the website, weathernorcal.com. Click on contact, fill out the form, and you'll be entered into the contest. 2 free tickets for this Friday's event. It's a Friday night event. I'll be announcing the winner right here on Coffee with Krueger on April 15th. And be sure to check it out because we're going to be announcing the winner. You may be the big winner. All right, no more thunderstorms. We're done, for now at least. A few isolated sprinkles, light showers for today. Showers return to Wednesday, and then, yeah, dry for Thursday through Saturday, and another chance for showers Sunday. So yes, we are drier this week, but not entirely dry. And we'll get into that in the deeper dive forecast here in just a bit. But first, a word from the Red Bluff Roundup.
Get ready for the largest 3-day rodeo in America. Over $350,000 in prize money. 3 days. April 17th through the 19th. Cowboys and cowgirls from across the nation come to Red Bluff to compete for over $350,000 in cash. Family fun for all ages at the Tehama District Fairground. Don't miss this year's Red Bluff Roundup. Tickets available online and at the Red Bluff office.
All right, so let's take a look at the radar. We did still see some rain and some snow, especially up towards the Tahoe region last night. As of right now, you can see things have pretty much dried out. But again, you can kind of see a little bit of activity to the north, a little bit of activity here. That has since then gone, and we're fairly dry this morning, but there may be a sprinkle or two or a light shower later this afternoon. Mid to upper 40s right now in the valley, 20s, 30s for the higher elevations. We're talking upper 40s out along the coast. Still some cloud cover out there, and we will still see that. We're kind of getting more into a stable atmosphere, but there's still some leftover cloud cover, still a little bit of instability, and there's the area of low pressure kind of moving on out of here. Now, we'll dry things out for the most part on Tuesday. As we look at the long-range forecast, we go into Tuesday, you're dry. This is the clipper system I was talking about. See how it clips Northern California, but it will dig far enough to the south that I think everyone's going to see at least a chance for some light rain. But as the farther north you go, I think the better the chances. And snow level is probably about 4,500 to 5,000 feet. Thursday, Friday, Saturday's looking dry. And then we go into Saturday night and Sunday, we got more rain. Now, it's important to take note of this, right? Because, as you know, we got the Red Bluff Roundup Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think we'll be dry Friday. I think we'll be dry Saturday. But Sunday, that's questionable. The timing of this, based on the GFS, wants to bring it in Saturday night, all day Sunday rain. Not a ton of rain. This is scattered showers, but still wet nonetheless. And then after that, we kind of clear things out, especially for Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Now, this is the American forecast model. The European forecast model is in pretty good alignment, and I'm going to show you why. Take a look at this. Again, it's dry for your Tuesday. There's Wednesday's clipper system. Look at that. I mean, pretty much a carbon copy of what the GFS is showing. Some of the showers that we will see. And on timing as well. Then Thursday, Friday, Saturday. See how it's dry? But Sunday. Sunday, notice, this is Sunday, and the time clock on this would be about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. What you'll notice is it's not widespread. It's not entirely over us. The European forecast model is taking a little bit longer of time to get this thing to push on. So there's that glimmer of hope that we could still be dry on Sunday, and it may not be until late in the day, Sunday evening, Sunday night, that we'll see the rain. But overall, the timing of this is something we'll be ironing out. But here's what I would say. Count on dry conditions Friday, Saturday for the Red Bluff Roundup. Sunday, be prepared for the fact that you may be dealing with some wet weather on that Sunday. All right, let's take a look at the next few days and show you what we got going on here. All right, so we take you into midday today, still dry. Through the afternoon, I think all of these areas here could see a chance for a stray sprinkle or a light shower. Mainly dry in the valley, you're talking partly cloudy skies. If you see a stray sprinkle, a light shower, you're out and about, you see a couple of raindrops on your windshield in the valley, don't be surprised, it could happen. But overall, this is going to be a much drier trend than we saw last week. Tuesday is dry. However, The beginning phases of that clipper system may bring a few light showers to the north and say places like Siskiyou and into Modoc County. But really, it's Tuesday night into Wednesday that we kind of see it push on through, and the heavier activity will be here around midday Wednesday, pushing through to the east, and some snow in the higher elevations. And I mean, we're seeing some decent rain kind of being kicked in to some areas here before we dry things out. Looks like just in time as we go into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as well. We saw that on the long range estimates. Don't take these numbers to be exact. I think most of the rain will be on the coast here. And as we would expect, highest amounts of rain to the north, less and less as you head to the south. That is the typical characteristics of these clipper systems. They tend to bring more rain, especially to the coast, a little bit to the north, and we see less and less heading to the south. And in some cases, it's only to the north, places like Siskiyou, northern Shasta, and then dry everywhere else. But that's not the case, I think, with this one. And this is, even the raw numbers, it's not picking up on much in the way of snow down into those higher mountain communities. So, you know, you may see a bit of a mix out towards Mount Shasta City. You may see a bit of a mix out towards Shingletown, or even Chester may be seeing some snowflakes as well. But this is not a big snow-producing event, but it will bring some snow to some of those highest elevations, mainly above 5,000 feet. Now the winds, I'm not expecting them to be a problem today. If you have anything that you have to do outside and the winds can play a factor in that, nothing terribly concerning out there here for today. Tomorrow, yeah, a little bit, right? A bit of a south wind, maybe a little over 20 miles per hour in the valley, stronger than that to the east. The coast, not so bad out of the west, northwest, at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. A bit of a breeze also for your Wednesday. Nothing major, but you'll notice the wind's kind of kicking in a little bit here, getting close to 30 miles per hour from the north on Thursday. Even along the coast, it's pretty gusty as well off to the east. So off and on gusty winds at times, most likely throughout the week, but no major wind events. Bit of a mini roller coaster ride with those temperatures over the next 10 days or so, but nothing that really just stands out as, wow, it's super cool or it's super warm. The normal high is about 70, 71. Will be slightly below that. A little bit cooler for your Wednesday with that clipper system I was talking about. And then we warm up. And then as we go into Sunday, maybe that chance for showers, and then kind of creeping back up after that going into next week. Taking a look at the lake levels, looks good. Actually seeing positive numbers, right? In the last 24 hours, all of the lakes here have seen an increase in elevation, especially out towards Lake Oroville with over a foot in the last 24 hours, and still looking at that historical average, over 100%. Taking a look at the wave heights, a little high, especially offshore there, but there you can see as we go into your Tuesday, they'll actually lower a bit. So no small correct advisories, nothing terribly concerning if you have to be on a small boat. Northwest winds at about 5 knots. No advisories. Here's your neighborhood forecast sponsored by Dignity Health and Grange Co-op. You've got those temperatures in the upper 50s, low 60s for Trinity County. Now across the board, here's what I'm anticipating. The coast, inland, mountains, all of those areas see the potential for a stray sprinkle or a light shower. Everyone's dry on Tuesday, and then Wednesday everyone has a chance for some rain. Heaviest rainfall Wednesday will be on the coast and to the north. The farther south you go, the slimmer the chances. And then we're dry across the board for your Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then maybe as early as Saturday night into Sunday, we start to see some of those showers begin to move in with that next system. Now that's still a long ways out. The timing, overall extent of that rain, that's something we'll be ironing out as we get closer to the weekend. In the meantime, we look at your valley neighborhood forecast to the south, and we're mainly dry today. And looking at that chance for showers for Chico on Wednesday, your chances are slimmer. If you see anything, it's not going to amount to much, if anything, really, just maybe a trace to a few hundredths. And then on Sunday, I think maybe a better chance for some of that measurable rainfall up north. 66 degrees for Redding, 67 in Anderson, and 61 degrees for Lakehead. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast for Redding. You can see those temperatures are dropping on Wednesday. Better chance for rain on Wednesday for Redding than Chico, for example. And then we're dry for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then it looks like, yeah, maybe another chance for some showers here by Sunday with some of that wet weather. So definitely not what we were looking at here last week. Remember last week, it was just kind of like, My microphone was off. I apologize for that. So here we go. All right, so if you didn't see the very beginning of the show, a couple of things. Number one, once I'm done here, you can go to the very beginning on Facebook. I'll also upload it on YouTube. It's also available on my website and weathernorcal.com and from the free Weather NorCal app. You just click on Coffee with Krueger and this particular broadcast will appear on all of those platforms. But until then, you won't be able to see it. That being said, I'm like, well, we're here. Let's take a look at what we looked at the very beginning. Now let's start with the actual tornado itself and what kind of sparked up the conversation here. So as we're looking at it, we're looking at right now the funnel cloud. Now you can see here, it kind of breaks apart. See this? This kind of happens to me too. I'm taking video, I want to see it myself, and then it kind of the camera strays away from it, so I don't fault them for that. But see how that's the very end of it. Now, the person who sent this told me and said that, or wrote that they didn't get the worst of it, that this is kind of the dissipating stages of it. The National Weather Service did indeed confirm that it was on the ground for about a minute, from 2:05 p.m. yesterday to 2:06 p.m. Now, as you can see here, it looks like it's trying to make contact, right? Is it? It might be. Kind of hard to see. You can't see anything kicking up on the ground, any dust or anything or any debris, but clearly rotation, right, that we're seeing here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at another one. This is coming in from Michelle Thau, I believe is how you'd say that name. Let's take a look at this. Now, this one looks to be the same, but we can see that this was taken a little bit sooner. So it's a little bit longer. You can see some different characteristics here, but towards the very end, we are going to see a lot of the same characteristics that we just saw. They're also in where there's a lot more rain. Now, I want you to take a look at this. Again, very close to the ground, don't see any debris. Now, see that? This is about the time we saw it from the other perspective. And see by the telephone pole, see how it's breaking apart? That's about the time that we saw from the other perspective. Let's take another look at this, and we can kind of see what's going on here. So they zoom in here nice and tight. That tree's a little bit in the way, but you see that kind of fat part at the top and then that little funnel coming down below that. Now, again, there's nothing that I look at here and go, wow, that's on the ground. It's on the ground. No, I don't see anything that tells me that it is. Number one, you can see it doesn't look like it is, but number two, we also don't see any debris. Now, again, right there, maybe a little bit of a touchdown, right? And then we start to see it turn into that rope, and it kind of starts turning into more of an S shape, and it starts to kind of lose some of its strength, and it begins to break apart, and it's no longer really an issue. So let's take a look at the National Weather Service and their assessment of this. Why can't I get this out of here? Okay, interesting. All right, so this is coming in from the National Weather Service. At 2:05 p.m., video and radar evidence confirmed that there was a brief touchdown of a tornado near Vina, California. No damage was reported. The peak wind gusts, path, and width and length are all unknown. Therefore, it is an EFU tornado with no damage survey. So, this has also sparked up a lot of conversation. I'm going to go ahead and put this up. Microphone is still on. Okay, so there are people saying, you're wrong, there's no such thing as an EFU tornado. Well, indeed there is. In 2016, the National Weather Service had categorized a tornado that was in Kansas as an EFU. When you look at the scale, the official scale, EF0 to EF5, that's the official scale. What's not going to be shown on that scale is the EFU. Now, keep in mind, that's more of like a hidden menu item is what that is. That is what the National Weather Service will pull out of their back pocket when they just don't know. They know that it did reach the ground, but since there's no damage to survey, they don't know the wind speeds, the overall intensity of the tornado. But based off of video and from radar signatures, they can confirm that there was indeed a tornado. So another thing people don't realize and understand is that during the time of the tornado, it's not given a category just yet. Even just right out, like once the tornado is no longer there, they don't categorize it right away. They have to send out a team to survey the damage. It's not until they actually survey that damage that it gets categorized. Okay, so that's how the categories work. So when you hear EFU, I've never heard of that. That's not real. It is. And the National Weather Service uses it, but it's not something that's very well known. In fact, my colleague who lives in Tennessee, and they deal with tornadoes all year round, and they're always dealing with big time tornadoes. EF 1, 2, 3s, 4s, and even 5s. They deal with them regularly. Okay? I was talking to him about it this morning. It's like, no, I've never heard an EFU. That's because in his area, they've never had one. They haven't had an EFU in his area. So since it's not something that comes up and it's not on the official scale, they've never heard of it. So I was able to kind of tell him about that. And of course, he did a little research and found out more about it. It's like, yeah, that actually is there. It's a real thing, but it's kind of hidden. It's not something that the National Weather Service puts on the scale. So just wanted to kind of talk to you about that because there's been a lot of naysayers. That wasn't a tornado, all that stuff. Listen, I'm not the official person who puts these reports out. It's the National Weather Service, and we've got to respect that. They are the people who are trained in this. You are not. See, that's the part that frustrates me. You get those naysayers who are like, that's not a tornado. Take it up with the National Weather Service, all right? Not me. I'm just reporting what the National Weather Service is saying. They're trained experts. They know what they're doing, okay? And the other thing, too, and I've just got to say this, it kind of frustrates me. It feels as though, and we can keep it up. So what I notice is when these types of things happen, there's a little bit more attention coming in nationally. Okay, so there are people who don't typically watch me every day, but from all across the nation who see my posts. Okay, which is great. It gets me out there. Here's the problem. They kind of laugh at us. That's not a tornado. You're obviously not from the Midwest. You've never dealt with. No, I haven't. I'm not from the Midwest. I don't live there. I live in Northern California, where we typically have EF zeros and EF ones. Typically nothing much stronger than that. So yeah, I'm happy about that. But it's almost as if people want mass destruction and death and all that in order for it to be considered a big deal and something to talk about. No, even this EFU, if you were caught in its path, most likely you would have survived it, but it's still dangerous. Bottom line, I don't care if it's an EFU or an EF5. Obviously, the EF5 is much more dangerous, but a tornado in general is always something you need to pay close attention to and take the necessary precautions. So I'm off my soapbox, but it was kind of interesting how there are a lot of people, a lot of naysayers. That's nothing. You're right, it is nothing compared to an EF5. But whatever, people love to be experts in everything. People say there's no such thing as an EFU. Well, there is, but you obviously didn't do your research, so whatever. All right, I'm calm now. Don't you love it? All right, folks. I never even checked in with you this morning. I don't even have, let's see if anybody has, there you go. Let's see if anybody's kind of chimed in this morning. Oh, we got people. Yeah, I know. It was no sound for a second here. Let's check in with some of you before we sign off. We'll call it a morning. What do you say? We got some of our we got to recognize our regulars. Curtis Brownie every morning, man. I love all my regulars. Curtis saying, good morning, Mike. Thanks for the great reporting over the weekend. You bet. Tim Moore, I know you watched yesterday. Headed to Alturas this morning. Think there is snow on Aden Pass? No, I don't think so. And if there is, there are no chain requirements right now for all of our area. So you don't have to worry about that. Just, look for slick spots. Yeah, Curtis, Great to see Mike in the detail reporting. Yep. Lisa checking in. Good morning, Mike, and thank you so much for staying on top of the weather this weekend. Tornado. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I do, right? Katie saying, thank you for the great forecast update. Sound was out. Thank you, Debbie. But I kind of caught that pretty early. Mike is still on. I had to double check. Donna, thank you, Mike. You are welcome. We've also got thanks for going in depth on tornado status. Love learning new things. Great. Glad to be there. I'll probably be doing another post on that. Kind of my video where I'm out and about and talking about that a little bit more. But, you know, you get a little sneak peek of that, I guess. Good morning, Mike. Thanks for the tornado explanation. You are the weather expert for the greater Northern California, so thanks again. Absolutely, Jeff. And we got Debbie saying, have a great day. Well, Debbie, I hope you have a great day. And I hope all of you have a great day as well, because it's Monday. Some people get into the, you know, the Debbie Downer blues when it's a Monday, but you know what? It's a Monday. And I think we can be excited about that. We're starting a fresh week. Let's look at it that way. You're starting a fresh week. You're getting ready for a fresh week. We're going to take a look at some cameras out there this morning. This is Soda Ridge. I'm going to leave you with that. But again, don't forget, Red Bluff Roundup tickets. You can win those. Just email me, mkrueger@weathernorcal.com, or go to the website, weathernorcal.com, click on Contact, fill out the form, and you'll be entered. I'll be announcing the winner this Wednesday of those Red Bluff Roundup tickets for Friday night's show or event. It's not a show, it's an event. And that'll be Wednesday, 6:30, right here in Coffee with Krueger. Have yourselves a great morning. We'll see you tomorrow.